If you charge more, will the quality of your clients improve? This is one question that a lot of us have to contend with because, we've been dealing with clients feeling undervalued. And for most folks, we just assume that once we tweak the pricing part of the equation, then everything should get better. If you increase your prices, you'll make more money, arguably. And then if you increase your prices, you get a new, category of clients reaching out. And so overall, your life should be better. So, if you charge more, will the quality of your clients improve and will your life get better? This is one of those questions where the answer is kind of qualified. I guess in a general sense, you could say yes, but then there's several caveats attached to it. But before I go into details on what my own opinion is on the matter, there's something that I'd like to point out that for the average business owner, like most of our customers, most of our potential clients, the only information or data point that we have on products or services or goods or whatever is price. And so price seems to be a near universal. And so because of that, whenever we are in a fix as business owners, the average person tries to tweak the price. So if a wedding photographer is not getting enough inquiries, they think, okay, maybe I'm charging too much, let me bring the price down. Or let's say a wedding planner is doing 20 weddings a year, but she's tired of dealing with broke people, so she thinks, okay, let me increase the price. You find that people just go to price as a default to try and solve all their business problems, and that's not necessarily the case. Because you'll find the more you stay in business or the more you try and get sophisticated about this business game, that sometimes the price can stay the same, but your positioning, your branding, your marketing, your advertising, all of that can improve, and then that also changes the quality of your clientele. So there's lots of levers to pull besides price. So there's price, yes, but you also remember the marketing mix back from when we were in primary school, for those of us in Nigeria anyway, who studied, I think it was commerce. I think it was called commerce back in, no, not primary school. I think it was junior secondary school. It was called commerce back then. So we studied, pricing, promotions, place, what else? There was five P's, or was it six P's? I think 5 P's of marketing or 6 P's of something. Anyway, so there are other levers to pull. If you have your textbooks, then you have a look at it. You find out what the other P's are, and those are other levers that you can adjust to make your life better. But now back to the main question. Will charging more improve the quality of clients? In a general sense, yes, it should. However, it's not going to improve the quality of your clients if you have poor product market fit. It's something that I've spoken about a few times on the podcast. I think maybe in the last 2 episodes where I was talking about market validation, but it's not something that people talk about a lot in our space. It's mostly people who are in the tech space who talk about product market fit for obvious reasons, because they are releasing a product, they're releasing an app, and so in a literal sense, they do have to achieve product market fit. But why is that important? It's because if you tweak your prices and, okay, I was going to say overpriced, but let's say overpriced is a relative thing in relation to the market. But let me just put it this way. So let's say if you are overpriced and you have poor product market fit, then that's going to lead to a lot of attrition. Actually, there's going to be a negative customer experience, and your ideal clients are going to run away because you have poor value. Now, a crass example that I can give, for instance, is if you go and you pay for the Hilton buffet, and how much do they charge? I don't know. Let me guess. Let me just say they charge maybe 15 or 25k. So let's just say Hilton charges 20k. Let's keep it flat. So let's say Hilton charges 20k for their buffet. Now you assume that it's going to be top notch, and then you go there. Now, if all you get for that 20k is 2 wraps of Amala and a bottle of Fanta, then that is going to be a negative customer experience, and the fact that they price it at 20k doesn't mean that lots of people are going to rush in to say, let me have that Hilton Amala at 20k. It'll actually lead to attrition. People will fade away because if it's a buffet, part of the value prop of a buffet is come and eat, what's that word? All you can eat, yeah. So part of the value proposition of a buffet is all you can eat. So if you're going there for all you can eat, but then you only get 3 wraps of amala and 2 bottles of Fanta, and all of that is just at 20k, you're not going to say, well, because it's Hilton Hotel and blah blah blah, you stick around. So the customers that they're looking for will actually fade, because what you have there is negative customer experience, because there's a poor product market fit. Now, on the other hand, if the Hilton Hotel is not doing the all-you-can-eat thing, not a buffet thing, but rather they want to do sophisticated, high-class continental dining, then 20,000 naira for a plate of gourmet gourmet amala with ewedu soup and I don't know, half a glass of champagne or something. Maybe 20,000 might be considered a deal, and then the kind of clients that they're looking for, people who want to be ultra sophisticated, will come on board. So you can see that it's not just a straightforward thing like that, but there are lots of things to consider. So in this case, the Hilton Hotel case, it depends on whether what they're trying to do is a buffet or whether they're trying to look for the fine dining experience. So these are the kind of things to consider when you're talking about product market fit. What kind of product or service am I putting out, and what is the market willing to tolerate or accommodate? So essentially, product market fit, the question that you're asking yourself when you're talking about product market fit is, does your product satisfy or does it meet a strong demand out there in the market? So yes, there is a demand for all you can eat, and Hilton Hotel, they've put their own product out there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that just by tweaking the price alone will they improve or decrease the quality of their clients. And so it's the same thing for those of us who are photographers, wedding videographers, wedding planners, decor people, and cake people. So the price is a very important lever to pull, but if there's no product market fit, then increasing the price is just going to mean that we will have attrition. So let's say, for instance, that you are a cake person and your central thesis is that people are going to pay for works of art. Let's say you're really masterful at sugar works of art and stuff like that. Because the person who made my own wedding cakes a long time ago, she's a lot bigger right now. Lolade of Dainty Affairs. I mean, that's her thing. I mean, she makes wonderful sugar crafted sculptures and, like swans on your cake and all that wonderful jazz. So let's say you're in Abuja and you figure Dainty Affairs does that. She's big in Lagos, Lagos Ibadan, that axis. Let me try here in Abuja. Let's see if it works. So if you try that, but really there's no demand for that sort of thing here, then I mean, perhaps not. It might not matter how high or how low you raise your prices. If there's no product market fit, there's no product market fit. So these are the sorts of questions that we ought to consider, and not just think about raising our price alone. In fact, in my own opinion, I strongly believe that before we get into tweaking price, especially since when we start playing with price, we never stop playing with price. That's one thing I've noticed. I mean, just check it for your friends who are wedding photographers or wedding planners. So today, their wedding planning is 200k. Then tomorrow it's 700k, and then you refer somebody else in 3 months' time, and then it's back to 500k, and then in 2 years it might now be 2m, and then now back to, and we just keep going all over the place with price. And wedding photographers are notorious for doing that. So it's 150 today, 250 tomorrow, and then you get scared. Things are slowing down. Okay, maybe let's do COVID pricing, and then it's now back to 125. And then you just keep hopping all over the place. And the problem with just changing price arbitrarily is that if you want business growth, we have to try and move things discreetly and in tandem. So you only change one thing at a time. So I actually prefer that you leave your price constant and you start tweaking other things. Change your advertising, change your promotions, get better at copywriting, get better at your sales process, things like that. Because when you get better at those sorts of things and then you get traffic, you now have options to play around with. So that, let's say you're a wedding photographer and you've started out at 200, you tweak all those other stuff. If you're getting 40 inquiries in a year and you're able to get, I don't know, maybe 10 weddings from that, you're not going to be as worried when it comes to increasing your price. Because even if you increase your price from, okay, in this example I said 200. Let's say you increase your price from 200 to 300, and then your inquiries go down from 40 a year to maybe 20 a year. It's still enough people calling in that you're not going to be scared that, oh, because I increased my price, that I'm not going to be able to pay the bills this year because everybody has run away. So in my own opinion, I think let's focus more on product market fit issues and market validation issues before we start tweaking the price. Because once you're done with product market fit and market validation, you have enough traffic. And when you have traffic, you're not afraid to fool around with stuff to change your copy or to change your price. So let's worry about those fundamentals first. And when all that is in place, then we tweak our prices in a deliberate manner, not all over the place. Not starting off at 150 and then double it to 300 and then get worried and then scale that back to 280. Just take it easy and scale in a well-graded place, graded manner, and then that gives you the data that you need so you can make a decision on what the ultimate price should be. So let's say you started off at 200 and you're increasing, why not make it 220 or maybe 225? You don't have to go from 200 to 400 or from 200 to 300. So scale a little bit. Of course, keep your records. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to do Excel type sheets. You just keep it fancy. I mean, with the records that you have on your phone, you can get a sense of how many people reached out this year, especially if you're keeping track with your calendar. Okay, maybe you might not have that info of how many people reach out this year, but you definitely will have the info on how many weddings you closed this year. So how many weddings did I close this year and at what price? How many did I do last year at what price? And it gives you a fair sense of where to go from there. So yeah, that's it pretty much. Okay, yeah, one example of how this sort of played out with a photographer that I was talking to. There was a fellow who is really good. He's coming from the Ibadan axis. He's moving here to Abuja, and he wants to get into the portrait market. So he reached out to me. We had a few conversations. He was worried that he was being undervalued at 30K. And I looked at his work, and his work was really, really, really good. So I told him that it's not just a matter of simply tweaking the price, just increasing it to whatever it is that he felt. I told him that I think it would be best to see how you could get his inquiry levels up to see if you can get more people interested, and that was part of the game plan that we came up with. And he was able to get a few more people interested at that current price at 30K. Because my advice to him was that, okay, you're feeling undervalued at 30K, but for the quality of work that you produce at 30K, are people saying this is a steal? And the answer was yes, because at 30K he was able to find 5 people to book him easy at 30K. So now we have concrete data from the market that with your level of skill, 30K is a steal. So people see your work and they hear 30K and they're like, I have to take opportunity. This